Everyone, so I thought I would just show you how I make my Slimming World friendly lasagna. It can be sin free if you use your A choice for your cheese. If not, like me, I will be sinning my portion. It will be 3 sins for a fair big chunk. So yeah, just keep watching if you want to see how I make mine. So the herbs and spices will be turmeric, nutmeg, garlic, mixed herbs, onion granules, mint and salt and pepper to taste. I have half a teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of nutmeg, a tablespoon of garlic, a tablespoon of mixed herbs, half a tablespoon of onion and half a tablespoon of mint, and then they will just be to taste once you've got everything in your frying pan. Also, I will be using on my half of the lasagna a Cathedral City Mini, the lighter one. You can have 2 of these for a healthy extra or 3 sins each. They are 20 grams. I like to use the finer grater on mine just because it makes the cheese go further. So yeah, I recommend using the smaller grater part just because it goes along a longer way. Craig will be having this cheese. I'll grate his on the bigger half because it doesn't matter if his spreads out or not evenly. 2 onions or 1 large onion, some fry lights, doesn't matter what flavour, any flavour, some Worcestershire sauce, that'll be to taste, some balsamic vinegar, just a capful unless you prefer more. Some spinach, which is a speed food, some 5% mince, which is a free food, some grated carrot, that's a speed food, some quark, the low fat quark, which is free as well on the plan, that's a protein, some peppers, I'm just going to be using the red pepper, but if you want to add more peppers, feel free. A tin of chopped tomatoes, that's a speed food, some passata, a whole carton of passata, that's a speed food, and your lasagna sheets, doesn't matter what brand, any pasta sheets will do, they are free on the plan also. So yes, that is everything ingredient wise. An oven proof dish just big enough to fit your lasagna in, or you can do the portion sizes, it's entirely up to you. Good for a size frying pan just to get it all in there, and yeah, that's everything I will be using to make my Slimming World lasagna. Forgot to mention you will also need 1 beef oxo cube as well, guys. So I'm just going to pop a bit of fry light in the frying pan. So I'm just going to turn that on now to a low medium heat. Get your fry light, fry that a little bit into your frying pan, don't need a lot. And then into that just add 500 grams of mincemeat. Break that up a little bit. You just want to let this slightly brown, and then you can add your veggies to it. Break it all up though, because you don't want big chunks of meat in parts and little bits in another. I have chopped and prepped all my veggies as well. I chopped up my carrots a bit more finely so that they spread out a bit evenly. If you like them big and chunky, leave them as it is. Chopped up my onion, chopped up my pepper, and I have got some, just about 2 handfuls of spinach. This will shrink when you pop it in, so if you like a lot of spinach then add more to it. Turn the heat up a little bit. You don't want it to completely brown before you add your veggies because you want it all to kind of cook together. I forgot to mention as well, it's a good idea to use passata as well once you've added all your ingredients and your tomatoes and things, just because it will thicken the mixture a little bit, and you don't want it too runny because otherwise it will seep through all the lasagna sheets and it will just make a mess. You still want it quite saucy, so just a little bit just to thicken it slightly, just so it doesn't run everywhere in your dish. So I'm just going to add all my veggies into here now as well. Just literally bung them all in. You could make this just a veggie lasagna. You could completely leave out the mince if you wanted to. You could use corn mince. Entirely up to you and what you prefer. So give that all a good mixing. Mix it all up. Just want to let this all fry down together, and so everything, you know, comes together, and so the spinach can reduce down a little bit as well. Just make sure you mix it all nicely together. Don't chuck it everywhere like I just did. Let that cook for a little bit so it all reduces down nicely. So I'm just going to add the tinned tomatoes and the passata, and then I'll show you the rest as well. So in go the tinned tomatoes, carton of passata, then to that you're just going to get your oxo cube as well, your beef oxo cube, and just crumble that in there just to give it that extra beefy taste, because you don't want it too tomatoey unless you like it that way. Then you can definitely leave out the oxo cube if preferred, but it does taste nice. Pop that in. And then you're going to want to add all your herbs as well. All mine are all measured in there. Just sprinkle all that in. Give that a little mix. Just work it all together. This is on a low heat at the moment. Just get that all in there. Smells delicious, guys. Can't wait to eat this later. It is similar to the Slimming World bolognese that you can make as well. You can totally have this with bolognese, with some spaghetti if you wanted to as well. See what I mean by the spinach does reduce down very, very much. As I said, if you do like your spinach, add more, because it does shrink up a lot. So once that's all in there, I'm going to get some tomato puree. If I can find it, there it is. This all depends on how thick you want it. I usually add about a tablespoon and a half's worth. It's entirely up to you. Mix that through, because I don't want it too runny. You can just add it as you go as well. If you feel like you need a little bit more puree, then add that to it as well, which I probably will do. So right, now you're going to want to get some Worcestershire sauce, I usually add about a tablespoon's worth, but I'm just going to put it in for now. It all depends on taste. You can leave this out if you want to. If you like it, add more or add less. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to add a cap of balsamic vinegar, just the lid's worth. Just give it that extra little kick. Mix all that. You're going to want to just let this simmer for a little while as well. Don't have too high because it will bubble everywhere. Got spit everywhere, should I say. But you do want to let it simmer for a little while. Add your salt and pepper to taste as well. Mix that in. Now while this is just simmering nicely, you're going to want to preheat your oven at 200 degrees. Let's get it nice and warm before you pop your lasagna in there. So I'm going to turn that on now. Take this on. My oven is quite noisy as it's fan assisted, so I do apologise guys. That's preheating now. I'm just going to let this simmer away for about 5 minutes, and then I will show you the next step. So the meat mixture is done now. I did add another tablespoon of passata, so it was 2.5 tablespoons altogether in here. So that's all nicely done now. Yum, it smells delicious guys. I wish you could smell through the camera. Smells lovely. And now on to the next step. So now I've just taken the meat mix off the oven, off the heat. Just gonna pop that here. And then I'm just gonna do a layer of the mincemeat at the bottom. It's entirely up to you how many layers you want to do or the sizes you want to do. You can do individual portions if you prefer. I'm just going to do one big one between me and Craig and chop it up. I'll freeze some or whatnot, I don't know yet. You can have this on its own, or you can serve it with some veggies and side salad, or just a side salad. Entirely up to you. So that's the first layer. Flatten it down so your lasagna sheets can fit on there. You may have to break up some of the lasagna sheets just to fit the bottom, but don't overlap them too much because they won't cook evenly. So there's the meat mix, first layer. Get your lasagna sheets. And just layer them as best as you can to cover the bottom half. As I said, try not to overlap them too much. They will need to be overlapped so they can all join, but just not too much. Press them down. Get your quark. And just pop a layer all over the lasagna sheets. I am using the big pot of quark because you will need a fair bit. Spread that out. Try not to move the lasagna sheets around too much. Spread it out as evenly as you can. This acts as your white sauce in the lasagna that you get. But using this is what makes it sin free, unless you're sinning your cheese. Just spread it as best as you can. Doesn't have to be too neat and perfect. So that's the first layer, sorry. And then you just want to add some more lasagna sheets to cover that. Make sure you press them down, but not too hard, otherwise it'll bulge out everywhere. Press them down so they're stuck. Then you want some more meat mix to cover the whole of that layer. Spread it out. Try and flatten it down a bit, as I said, to make your lasagna sheets go over the top of it evenly. More lasagna sheets. Some more white sauce mix. Spread that out. This can be a bit fiddly because the pasta sheets will move about. As I said, it doesn't have to be neat and perfect. It'll all come together anyway. So don't worry too much about it if it slips and slides about the place. It's alright. Don't worry if the meat mix mixes in with your quark. It's okay. It's most likely going to happen. It's totally fine, guys. Don't worry. More lasagna sheets. Meat mix. This is going to be my last layer now, topped with the lasagna sheets and cheese. Spread it all out. Oh, it smells so nice. I can't wait to have this for my tea tonight. Last layer of lasagna sheets. Just gonna crack one just to fill the bottom half of there. This half here. press it down. And then your last bit of quark on the top. Basically used a whole pot of the 500 gram pot of quark. I've pretty much used all of it. Right, I have used the whole tub now. This isn't all mine though, guys, so don't worry. As I said, I am sharing it with the other half. And his half will have his cheese on, and my half will have my cheese on. Right, spread this out. You don't have to use this much quark if you prefer less. But I like it as lasagna-like as possible. This won't all be for one setting either, for the both of us. This will do us at least 2 meals each. Right, now you've done that, you're just going to add your cheese. So this is my cheese with the finer grater that I was on about. It just makes it go so much further. And on for the other half, this will be Greg's cheese. That's the bigger grater. So I'm just going to pop my half of the cheese on first. Don't waste any because this is sins after all, guys, unless you're using your healthy extra. Then you can have 40 grams of 30% less fat cheddar for your healthy extra. I'm just going to pop Craig's cheese on. Probably done a bit much here, but he likes his really cheesy, as do I, but right, slimming roll, guys. Less is more. So if you want to just make it all slim well friendly, obviously just stick to that cheese and spread that throughout. Don't add this part of the cheese. But this whole entire half, all of this half here, all of that is 3 sins. So I'll be having half of this, so it'll be 1.5 sins per portion. And it is a very generous size lasagna, nice and beastie and big. So I'm just going to pop that in the oven now for about 15 to 20 minutes, checking on it, making sure the cheese isn't burning on the top, just so it's nice and golden brown. And then when it's done, I'll show you what it looks like. When the cheese reaches this stage, so it's started to brown, you're just going to want to take some foil, place it over the top, and then pop it back in the oven. This is just so the cheese doesn't brown anymore on the top, but the inside still cooks a little bit more. So I'm just going to pop over the foil, and then I'll pop it back in the oven for about another 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes. Careful though, because the sides obviously will be hot as it's just taking it out of the oven. So I'm just going to pop this back into the oven and I will be back when it's finished. That's it, and that's how I make my lasagna, slim and world friendly. Little note though, when you put the foil on top of the lasagna, don't let it touch the top. I usually don't, for some reason I did it by accident, and it's pulled a bit of my cheese off here. And if you're unsure if it's cooked, just pop a knife through it. If it glides through all the pasta sheets easily, then it's done. If it's a little bit stiff to get through the pasta sheets, then it's not quite done yet, so pop it back in. So yes, this is how I make my slim roll friendly lasagna. I hope this was any use to you lovelies. If you try it out, let me know. It'd be lovely to hear what you think of it. So yeah, all cooked through. So I'm going to serve mine with some Slimming World sin-free wedgies. If you want to know how I make my wedgies, let me know and I'll do a video on that also. And I'm also going to do a side speedy salad as well. So thanks for watching. As I said, let me know if you try it out, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye lovelies.